Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we give you a piece of breaking news from People magazine. Shameful fugitive Meghan Markle is avoiding confrontation with the Queen. Yes, she does. Meghan can't face it. The Queen, because not only does Meghan know she's in the wrong, but she also realizes the Queen is on to her and has been for some time. The game is up. In fact, Meghan Markle always runs away and hides, ghosting and gaslighting instead of facing up to people. Also relevant is the inescapable issue of her integrity. It's been said she was caught spying, photographing, and note-taking in restricted areas of Buckingham Palace, so had to be escorted thereafter. Then came the book she didn't write, but did a bit, but didn't really. The unfounded allegations, aka mudslinging, about the toxic royal family, calculated to excuse their own disgraceful behavior. The slippery insinuations about the Commonwealth, her selective memory, and so on. In light of her duplicity, it would be most unwise for any member of the palace, let alone the Queen, to have a conversation with Markle on the phone, Zoom, or any electronic medium. It would give her the golden opportunity to secretly record the conversation, giving her more prime material for the upcoming Netflix tell-all spectacular. I believe that is why she was not allowed to take part in conference calls where the runaways' future was discussed. Calling to say happy birthday is one thing, but nothing more than polite conversations could be risked with her on the phone. She is not trusted because she has proven she can't be trusted. As ever, this is of her own doing. As ever, she can't see that. And as ever, she will play the victim card. Therefore, I don't believe she will ever meet the Queen again. I don't believe she will ever set foot in the UK again. The royal family should stop funding Project Meghan, as her actions show she is hell-bent on causing trouble for the royal family, who, for some reason, she seems to hate. Plus, how toxic is the relationship between Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle? Kate Middleton is not a nasty person. She has nothing to gain from disliking Markle, just for the hell of it. She's worked tirelessly to become a supporter of the Queen to Prince William and takes her roles as mother and wife very seriously. She hasn't put a foot wrong since becoming William's wife and just exudes warmth and compassion. Markle, on the other hand, is a self-serving, manipulative person who's a stranger to the truth and only sees situations for what they can offer her. Invited into the family by a very immature man-child who couldn't see she had hunted him down and caught him while telling him she didn't know who he was. Meghan created situations to make it look as if she had been abused because of her color, and after that her unhappiness is recorded, and they fled to the US via Canada to cover up her ambition of being in the Hollywood limelight and using her royal connections to achieve what she'd failed to achieve as just plain old Meghan Markle. Kate and William saw right through her, and so she blamed Catherine for the problems she created. She is now a 39-year-old third-rate actress with no qualifications or prospects. Maybe her recent application to the courts is part of the deal between Netflix and her. She'll have to get that out of the way before Netflix goes on, which could explain a lot. Catherine has far too much class to be bothered about Markle and is far too popular to let her under her skin. Markle, on the other hand, is eaten up with envy and her own misplaced self-importance to ever consider how toxic she is. Recently, some Meghan Markle fans asked a very funny question. If Harry would somehow become king with Markle still on the marriage scene, what do you think their priorities would be in modernizing or altering the royal rules or protocol from what we know now? I imagine that the scenario described in it has been running around on loop in the mind of our favorite absconder, and maybe in the mind of her lapdog too, albeit on a less ambitious scale, for quite some time. In fact, I believe the earliest example of evidence detailing her wish to hit the ground running vis-a-vis the upcoming upgrade of the whole moribund royal shebang is this. So there you have it, right out of the mouth of the soon-to-be Duchess of Devolve herself, clearly dreaming, even at that very early stage, of leveling to the ground those fusty, old-fashioned royal buildings and planning to complete Vicky Charles-inspired Soho makeover in the newly designed Mog Towers, and daydreaming about what tasteful cushions would go on her vast tiara collection. But before exploring the exciting changes possibly afoot from our currently absent favorite wokesters, a small amend is necessary to this rather excellent question. As many will have realized, Harry is never going to be king, ever, not even with the necessary series of unfortunate events, Lemony Snicket style, that would have to befall the Windsor clan in order to put him in the running. And most certainly never all the time he's married to M, even if he was the last Windsor standing. She will be queen, and he will continue in the menial role he's already embraced, groom of the stool to Queen Mog's royal consort, Marcus. And with that minor detail out of the way, let's continue. So having used the Tatler front page to set out her stall immediately before her wedding regarding her wish to change Prince Harry, the royal family, the aristocracy, everything, what possible changes could she have had in mind? Everything is a really broad brushstroke. We can now dismiss Harry from this remit, as her work with him is already done, and he has been successfully changed beyond recognition. So that just leaves the aristocracy, who, providing they can still drink, shag each other in endless permutations in multiple country house locations, hunt and shoot animals with the occasional half-day sitting in the House of Lords undisturbed, will follow Queen Mog without a bray of objection. There does remain the rather naughty problem, though, of the great unwashed. When the Los Angeles court of Markle decamps to England land to establish the House of Mog, first her name, they will unfortunately have to rely on the goodwill of the peasants in order to rule triumphant from Mog Towers. We've already seen what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and are by now well versed in what she clearly doesn't want, which is to be contradicted, challenged, laughed at, or not taken extremely seriously as a philanthropic force for good by a bunch of hateful, racist mouth breathers who rely on their information from the lies spewed by the former gutter press. Obviously, the problem is that hardly anybody in the UK, well, apart from a few lurkers on Quora, irrespective of their reading habits, can stand the pontificating pair of prats, which, frankly, does not bode well at all. Thankfully, by replacing the stuffy old traditional guards at the palace with the much more woke Sussex squad, any plebe failing to fall into line will be re-educated, allegedly with kindness, understanding, and love, or just plain arson, whichever works best. Except, of course, for Angela Kelly, who will be made to walk down the mall in sackcloth as penance for her grievous and vicious snub. In terms of government, it's expected that all parties will be replaced by one uniform ruling council formed from members of Meghan's closest circle of bestest friends and stalwart defenders ever. George Clooney will be delighted to finally get to revise his role in the Monuments Men as he trawls through the former royal art collection, repurposing valuable items in order to feed the House of Mog's insatiable need for hard cash. The Home Office will be run by 5 newly created duchesses, the Duchess of Anon, Incognito, Nom de Plume, Unknown, and No Name, whose collective responsibility will be to leak stuff and handle the huge global interest the House of Mog is expecting to create. The kindness of Tyler Perry will not go unrewarded, as he will get the contract to run Mog News, an educational TV and internet provider, the only communications left apart from curated Netflix documentaries on the humanitarian achievements of Queen Mog. The Queen's speech is expected to continue on Christmas Day and last for several hours and include the groveling apologies of former editors of banned newspapers. A royal fan from the US named Maria also had this to say. My first thoughts are they would open up the royal residences and use them as hotels for Hollywood celebrities and the wealthy. Photos taken with their esteemed host as an expensive option. Residences could be hired out to film makers and such. The Queen's Guard would be named Meghan's Guard, and their red tunics would be replaced with emerald green ones, made by a designer who would be most prepared to donate hefty money to Prince Archie's favorite charity foundation, of which Meg's would be CEO. Also, Queen Mum Doria will officiate at the Trooping of the Color and other regal events. And, of course, King Harry will be fitted out with new military uniforms and more make-believe medals. What about you? Do you think that the shameful fugitive Meghan Markle is avoiding confrontation with the Queen? Do you think the Queen agrees to this? Please let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share with your own followers. And as always, subscribe to our channel for all the latest news on the royal family, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.